Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson. I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank. I'm your host, Strider Wilson. We got Aaron going beast mode on the sticks. Dude, what's going down, Aaron, dude?
What up?
Dude, I'm just freaking posted up. Dude, got my new wheels, dude. My Ford was a limon. And when life gives you a lemon in the form of a vehicle, you take the cash. That's what I did. I took the cash they offered me, to get me into a different Ford. But I switched to Toyota. RAV4 used to be the car for every teenage girl. Every girl that went to soccer practice, the dream car was a VW Bug, probably light blue, powdered blue, that one, that robin's egg blue, powdered, or maybe the yellow. But it was always the RAV4, but then they switched it up. The front's a little beefier. Look, I'm happy with it. It's all-wheel drive. It's raining in LA right now. Rare is the occasion, even though the 10 freeway's on fire. Don't know if you've seen that in the news. What's going on? Pallets, I guess, are under the freeway. Dude, there's pallets.
It was arson.
So some psycho just did this. Some dude who loves traffic and chaos.
Yeah.
See that guy? I mean, look.
Some dude just watch the freeway burn.
Some men, Master Wayne, want to see the 10 burn. It's like, dude, yeah, bro. There's no place for arson. I believe that because of the movie Backdraft, when you said that, Aaron, I'm picturing Donald Sutherland.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Does anyone have a creepier look than Donald Sutherland? Great actor. Love his acting. Creepier look than Donald Sutherland?
Yeah, I can't. There's times where he's like a romantic lead, and I'm just like, I don't.
Oh,
I
no.
can't
What
do
is
it.
that? No. That's, dude, that you need to give that actress the Oscar. Give her the Oscar every time. I mean, he's so good, in fact, that he even had a creepy son.
Yeah?
Kiefer Sutherland. The energy in that family. There's some families, this is that time of year, there's families hanging out. Can I tell you, when I see families, when I see the same type of ugly walking around together, I kind of just want to people's elbow all of them. There's just something in me, right? And look, I like to think of myself as a benevolent guy, but I'm a tall guy, you know what it is? When I see a tall Dutch family, dude, I kind of want to just slap, I'm like, you guys are all dorks, dude, walking around, And look, nothing wrong with the Dutch. I don't know why I said Dutch. Maybe they're not even Dutch. I hate tall dork families, dude.
Yeah.
Like that backup quarterback who had their super long
their long
neck.
shorts worn too high.
Yeah.
Tucked in t-shirts.
And then dude. Tucking in your shirt. If you're tucking in your t-shirt, unless you're a jacked salesman and you work at a car dealership, by the way, shout out to Huntington Toyota, what up, where every car comes standard with a 15-inch lift. You get a Prius, I don't care, dude. It's got TRD off-road package on it. Sick ass lift. Doesn't matter if it has 92 horsepower. That thing can freaking tackle dunes, baby. Every car at Toyota of Huntington's got a fucking fat lift, dude. So fired up on that. One of their advertising points is like, look, dude, you won't fit under a freeway overpass, dude. 10's on fire. Hop in this Prius, catch air over it, dude. Doesn't matter. Fired up on those cars, dude. Pun intended. Whoops. So just freaking loving it, dude. Hating families and kidding, dude. Family's what it's all about. Family's what matters, dude. But then again, dude, you see a family that's sometimes good looking. Growing up in my high school, there was a good looking family. All the bros in the family were good athletes, water polo players from the top to the bottom. And because I've got a lot of brothers, there was like a brother in every grade that matched up with my grade. And they were all just cool water polo players, dude. I was like, this family rules, dude. I couldn't even look them in the eye. I was like, oh, dude, stop. Can't even look at you in the eye right now because you guys are just so chill. So freaking chiseled. It was a private school, it was a Catholic school. And the priest said it's okay for that family to wear their Speedos around class. Everyone else had to have tucked in Oxford tie, sweater. But that family had such chiseled, because the priest, beyond being a strange pervert, said, look, this is God's art, is this family, dude. You know what I mean? And Coach Ricks, who did the training regimen. So he was really, I suppose, a vessel of the Lord in that regard, just creating these jacked rigs. So fired up on that. Can you wear a Speedo to school these days? Probably not. Probably restaurant rules: no shirt, no shoes, no service. no shirt, no suit, no shoes, no education, I guess.
I don't get why water polo players still wear Speedos.
You got to move. You move faster.
Yeah, but
less drag.
They've invented shorts.
True. Oh yeah, they have like those like skin shorts, right? That like the swimmers wear that are like less drag even.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be just at this point aesthetic. It's cool. Rocking a Speedo, it's cool.
Is it?
Yeah, I remember I tried to do it as a joke in high school. We'd go to Salt Creek Beach. I remember one year I brought a Speedo. I was like, I'm just hanging out in a Speedo. Got a horrendous sunburn, yelled at by my dad. Cardinal sin, dude. My dad, being a dermatologist growing up. You came home with a sunburn, dude. You better not have come home. You better slept under the moon, dude. Even that puppy out. Anyway, dude. What we're going to be talking about today is another ball sport. Pun intended. We just came off the episode fresh off of the Copa 71 ep. Fired up on that. Fired up to discover that whole thing. My Dank wife sent me that and I go, this is dank. This is some dank ass history. It's going in the frickin' pod. And she was fired up on the ep and started making me think, okay, this took place in Mexico City. What older games took place in the Mexico area, in South America, Central America? Ancient games. And there is an ancient sport played by the Mayans and as well as other ancient tribes and empires of that same region. And my friends, it was a bloody sport involving human sacrifice. So let's get into it. But before we do, thank you to our sponsor, Tushy. There's one question to ask if you're shopping for someone who already has everything. Do they still wipe their butt? I'm telling you, dude, it's a good question. It's important. My buddy Jeff hooked me up with my Tushy bidet, and I'll tell you, dude, it changed my life. I'm serious, dude. I was having problems, and it has made my life better. I'm fired up, dude. So right now, give the gift. Give yourself the gift, but don't think it's faux pas. Like, I don't know if it's what type of gift is faux pas to give someone, like a dog. You're not going to give someone a dog. Hey, here's 18 years of looking after this thing. It is not faux pas to give someone a bidet as a gift. It is a great gift. And right now, we got some deals. So shop from your toilet this Brown Friday and save up to 30% on bidets and bundles. Visit hellotushy.com/dank and use promo code dank for 30% off your first order. That's hellotushy.com/dank for 30% off now through November 25th. Get on it. Brown Friday. Love it. All right, dude. We're talking ancient Mesoamerican ball game here, okay? Now, I've sort of labeled it Mayan, but it was played by different cultures in the same region. So Mesoamerica is what we're talking about, which I just mentioned earlier, South America, Central America, and below. Maybe not too far below, not Antarctica, dude, unless the penguins are playing, bro. Although there are penguins, I think, on the very tip of South America, which is fucking tight, dude.
Yeah, and South Africa.
Yeah, isn't that rad?
Mm-hmm.
Penguin, sick-ass bird. Kind of crazy, dude. Huddle together. Did the males sit on the eggs? Progressive. Emperor penguin, dude. One time I got invited over to a rich dude's house. He's like, we're eating penguin tonight. I'm kidding. It's a lie, but it'd be weird. So just a little bit on the Mayas. Everyone knows the movie maybe 2012, John Cusack. Ever heard of it? The Mayans didn't believe, just a little myth busting for you right now, dude. They didn't believe their calendar would renew. It was a renewal. It's a cyclical calendar. It's like a circle thing. Like, it's like Indiana Jones. Like when he puts a freaking, fucking sack of whatever sand on something and then it pushes a stone down and then it levitates or sort of like equates the weight and distribution, and then they'll go stone tablet rolls over. Like that stone tablet's like a calendar that he already had like match up. Or if you're in an escape room after you've done a little bit of cocaine. Kidding, don't do any cocaine. There's fentanyl in it. But maybe you pop a Zin. Maybe you cruise down south to Huntington Beach, where I do know they have citrus flavored Zins. And you pop one of those in and just really do an escape room by yourself during regular business hours. Not a bad way to spend a Tuesday. Kind of exactly the way I just spent this Wednesday. It's raining. Cruised down to Huntington. Popped a few citrus Zins and just cruised around, dude. I was like seeing the future, dude. I was seeing the Matrix, dude. Got out of that. It was honestly a Temple of Doom themed escape room as well. It was tight. I did have to ask for help from the Gothic lady that was running the the escape room at that time, and there was actually a few coworkers that wanted to get in there with me. They saw I was just one. They go, "Oh, cool, should we team up?" I said, "Absolutely not. Wait, I'm going in solo." So, don't get in the way of me and my escape room, dude. So fired up on that, and just a little, pro tip there: take that to the bank, spread it like wildfire, baby. Look, very advanced culture of the Mayans. Highly advanced irrigation systems, dude. Every time you hear about a culture, dude, and you hear about how they had irrigation, you're fired up. When you hear about Rome, what do you think? Aqueducts. You also think gladiators. Well, we're talking irrigation, and we're talking Bloodsport here, okay? They got agriculture, astronomy. That's how their calendars were based on, right? Early ancient maps, calendars, it's all astronomy. It's the stars. There's not light pollution today. It's like when you're in fucking Tahoe, just boarding, renting a cabin with your boys. You look up at the stars at night. It's great. Your feet are dangling in the jacuzzi. It's sick. Social structures, class systems, okay? People don't know why it fell apart. The Mayans, because this was before. The Aztecs is who the Spaniards had contact with. The Mayans was before that, but could have been, deforestation, climate change, ruling class loyalty, just imbalance. Could have just collapsed the empire. You know what I mean? Like Rome never really stopped. Religion ended up splitting it. Maybe it was a religious dispute. Rome just became what scholars called the Byzantine Empire in the east, like Constantinople, and then Latin Rome just fell to the Visigoths, who I think maybe that lady, her name was Ashley, running the escape room today. She was probably Visigoth. A combination of some factors, right? Could have been a fucking volcano, dude, right? Okay? Fucking sick-ass jungle adventures, dude, okay? It's also what's sick, dude. It's difficult to reach these ruins too, because so much of people go, where did the Mayans go? They're, go to Guatemala and everywhere. The people still exist. There still are descendants of the ancient Mayas, even though, the Spaniards and colonizers brought tons of disease that wiped out, descendants later on in like the 15th century AD. But this is going back, we're talking 2000 BC here, all the way up to 15th century AD and slightly beyond, actually, with this ball game here. Okay. Apocalyptic movies like this is what I wanted to talk about, suggest that the Mayan calendar thought the world was going to end in 2012. That's wrong. The Mayans celebrate a calendar cycle that's 5,125 years. Okay. It's a long count calendar. All right. That celebrates their new millenniums. And basically they thought the world would be renewal. So it was actually a time for celebration, greater peace, maybe enhanced understanding among diverse peoples on the planet. It's a benevolent thing. But Hollywood, maybe they got to go for the end of the world. And honestly, a pretty bad movie. I'd much rather watch that earthquake movie with Daddario and The Rock than that one. Disaster movies. Best disaster movie. Go. Twister. Does that count?
Yeah, of course.
Pretty sick. That was my introduction to Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yep.
Deep Impact. Kind of didn't love it.
No. Armageddon's cool.
Which one?
Armageddon.
I think you nailed it. That's number one. I think by far and away, it's got to be number one, Armageddon.
Dante's Peak's pretty cool.
Pretty sick. You got the grandma pushing the kids in the acid lake. But then there was also the movie Volcano that took place at the same time in LA with Tommy Lee. Remember that?
Well, you got Armageddon and Deep Impact same year, and you had Dante's Peak and Volcano same year. It's like...
Yeah, they do this. Same year you had No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on? These are the same movies, different studios, competition.
Yeah, it's like similar ideas. Probably the same guy pitched both ideas, and one studio bought it and one studio made their own.
Yeah, exactly. Saved a little coin.
Fishy.
And you can kind of always tell which one didn't buy the original idea, maybe. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to that. Like, Volcano was definitely the lesser one.
Yeah.
Deep Impact was definitely lesser. And then I think No Strings Attached is not as good as Friends with Benefits. Even though right now we're not Team Justin, we're definitely Team Brittany.
Yeah.
So let's get into these blood sports here, all right? It's an important part of ancient Mayan world, as well as a lot of the other cultures that we'll never even know about, smaller tribes, right? Around the area, because of archaeological evidence has discovered these type of ball courts, and I'll get into somewhat of dimensions, but basically a square with some walls and stuff, and spectators can be around depending on how big the city was or small the, settlement was. But I was just going to say something about this. No, I'll come back to that later. Just to spell it out for you what I mean by ball sport, right? You're here just saying, what is this guy talking about, playing pocket pool or something like that, dude? So once and for all, yes, that is true. Pocket pool is a very sick-ass sport. But this is a game where teams of the best athletes would try to literally vanquish each other. Okay? They say this is a heavy, basically soccer ball size ball made from hard rubber. There are rubber trees in Mesoamerica that can be found. A lot of rubber is exported from there, as well as Thailand and stuff. So it'd be like a rubber ball, and some scholars think that human skulls were used sometimes and placed inside the rubber ball. And they say they were heavy, so it's kind of heavy, like the ball hurt and shit, and you sustain a lot of injuries. And then you should check out online, like you wore the player. It was like 2 to 4 players, and things could have been different. This is what we know based on the Aztec version of the game being played that was witnessed by Spaniards. Obviously, there's also depictions, some stuff that's been lost to the jungle in time, and maybe writings that have been lost because fucking Cortez did destroy stuff because he's a dick. But so there's stuff that we might never witness, and when, of course, we weren't alive 5,000 years ago to watch the game be played. So it's obviously this spectacle is based on speculation, of course, always to a degree, theory. And so you kind of bounce it with your hip, like you're thinking soccer and stuff, but you would use your hip. You couldn't use your hands or feet, actually. No hands or feet. So not even as, I guess, I don't know what the word is, but not as akin to soccer as one might think. It's like hip, shoulders, head. Wearing pads, you could fucking deck each other. There's different variations of the game. And it's kind of like with boxing. Like, I honestly think there might have been less injuries. People say there'd be tons of injuries sustained during the game. And it's like boxing, I was going to say, when you used to do bare knuckle boxing, and there was actually less injuries or severe head trauma because hands would break, right? Hitting someone's face or skull or whatever. The hand would break, and then the fight would be called at that point. But then when you put the gloves on, fights would go longer, hands wouldn't break, but more headshots happened and leading to more long-term damage. So it's kind of one of those things where you're like, oh, let me put some pads on to help. And really it actually was worse in the long run. Needless to say, in the long run, it wouldn't matter too much because the losing side would be sacrificed, which actually isn't entirely true because this is theory. There's a settlement called Tikal, very old settlement, like 2,000 years ago. I think it's one of the oldest courts for this ball game called, which I should use the name now, Pitz, is kind of what it's known as, Pitz, Pitz. That's how they say it. That's what they say it was referred to in classical Maya. It in Nahuatl, that's the language of the Aztecs, it was called Olmalitzil, and that means basically Olma in there refers to the Olmecs, which is like the oldest civilization that we kind of know about in the Mesoamerican region, dating back even before the Mayas, maybe oldest main empire. It kind of goes Olmecs, Mayans, Aztecs, kind of through the era with things in between, of course. And Olmeca actually translates to rubber people, which is dudes who used condoms.
Oh, yeah.
But rubber people, like I mentioned, the rubber tree, the rubber ball used for this game. And then, using a rubber is also smart. Play it safe. You know what I mean? Pull-out method, not reliable. Okay? So wrap it up. And so this game we'll refer to as Pitz throughout the remainder of the episode using the classical Mayan. But in Tikal, it was believed that the winner actually was sacrificed to the gods because there was something that said an inscription that said "Morir en Tikal es un honor," meaning, I don't know why I put that accent on it at the end. I don't know why I did that. It means to die in Tikal is an honor, is an honor. So it's not known precisely where it's originated, this game. It's likely it originated earlier than 2000 BC, like I said. These low-lying tropical zones where the rubber tree grows, right? Like I mentioned, Thailand, Mexico, Guatemala, that area. They say maybe this place called Son Cunosco is a coastal lowland along the Pacific Ocean. and at a place called Paso de la Amada. Archaeologists have just found the oldest ball court yet, dated to approximately 1400 BC. They recovered dozens of balls ranging in diameter from 10 to 22 centimeters. So just goes to show, this is just sort of proving there's variation, right? There's rubber balls found with ritual offerings buried at the site, indicating that even at this, in the very beginning, there was a religious connotation to this game always. And, you know, we sort of asked this today, like, why do we do military flyovers for the Super Bowl with the Jets, besides the fact that it's just sick to watch jets fly by? So sick. Or see paratroopers fly in, like, dude, see SEAL teams fly into the 50-yard line, besides the fact that it's fucking sick. Sport and state have always kind of had this emergence, going back to the Olympics in Greece with the city-states. And now here, there's a religious element, you know, and, you know, a lot of athletes, look at the, you know, in the NFL, you got athletes, Russell Wilson, there's a ton of athletes who, after the game, they go, they take a knee, they thank God. Other athletes go and you pop Zins. And, you know, it's whatever, do your thing, pick your poison. But in this era, dude, you were being sacrificed, okay? Number of players could vary. I mean, 2 to 4 sounds slim to me. I'd like to see at least 5 dudes out there. And it was a stone ball court, right? Stone wall, so it could bounce around. And we'll get into some of the rules here in a little bit. Let's see. They say some early games, just variations here, still going on variations of the game, resembles like a netless volleyball, kind of, is what they would say. So maybe you could use hands in some, or like forearms. Maybe you could use a forearm, just not your hand, or a shin, maybe not just the foot. Basically, they say they would hit it off their hips until one team fails to return it or the ball leaves the court. So kind of like a little volleyball element there. In the Mayan version, they put a stone ring on each side of the court. They've seen those. There's some cool pictures of those online as well. That's an innovation that continued into the Toltec and Aztec cultures, right? Toltec's one of those cultures I didn't mention that comes in between, you know, your Olmec, Mayan, Aztecs. But that's kind of like really small, and like you're bouncing the ball off your hip. It's a super small little hole. It's almost like fucking catching the, what's that Harry Potter game, Quidditch?
Yeah.
When like Harry Potter just has to catch the snatch, or is it called the snatch? Or is that just,
Sneech.
am I just inappropriate saying that?
Sneech?
The snitch? Is it the snitch?
I don't know.
Fucking the little gold fly thingy?
Never seen it.
You never seen Harry Potter?
Nope.
Bro, here's the thing. I would give you flack on that, but I didn't watch Harry Potter until like 4 years ago. I just never did it. I was just skating, you know, using curb cream and soaps, just grinding freaking gutters, dude. And, you know, rails outside libraries. And
Snitch.
the snitch. I'd say it's the snitch. Yeah, don't go around saying snatch at school. You know, you might get a detention. But, and also don't be a snitch, dude, because you might get a stitch, dude. And snitches get stitches, dude. And these fucking, my Dank's wife loves Harry Potter. She's like, you never seen these? We got to watch them. So we watched the first one together. She didn't even make it all the way through because she's seen them. She fell asleep. I watched 3 that night. This was during the pandemic. Then she was working the next day. This is when I was on unemployment. And I watched 3 the next day, and I finished like every Harry Potter in 3 days. I think I saved the last one with her because that was like the first series to split it in that last book into 2 movies to make bank, did.
Yeah.
So just variations on the game. Points were lost by a player who let the ball bounce more than twice before returning it to their team, who let the ball go outside of the boundaries of the court, of course, or who tried to fail and pass the ball through one of the stone rings, which is difficult to do. Placed on each wall on the center line, according to the 16th century Aztec chronicler, this guy named Motolinia. Points were gained if the ball hit the opposite end wall as well, while the decisive victory was reserved for the team that put the ball through the ring. That's like the snitch. However, that was difficult to do in a rare event. It was like the court in Chichen Itza, which is a sick-ass place to go to if you ever cruise out to Cancun or Tulum or something like that. You know, you can take a little day tour out of Chichen Itza, get yourself a friggin' pina colada and cruise out to Chichen Itza in a bus and check out these rings that are like 20 feet off the ground. So I'm like, how the hell do you hit a ball off your hip? These guys must have been really, really good at boning if they could do that. Imagine these athletes, dude. Just really good hip action. You know, a lot of power bottoms probably playing this game. So like I mentioned, deeply ingrained into Mesoamerican culture, and it serves as a purpose beyond the mere sporting event. So let's talk and get into these sacrifices, what's meant, why, and what symbolisms. But before we do that, once again, dude, there's only one question to ask if you're shopping for someone who already has everything. Do they still wipe their butt? Hold on to your butts. Classic Jurassic Park, because this gift hits every bullseye on your wish list. That's right, okay? It's the Hello Tushy bidet. I'm telling you, dude. I used to have the endless wipe. Used to waste tons of toilet paper. Not eco-friendly. Now I'm using the bidet. My beehole feels great. I'm very comfortable. I miss it, dude. I've been traveling with Chad and JT on the road doing stand-up. I literally miss it like I miss my wife and dog. That's how much I love my bidet. But guess what? I know it's going to go in my stocking this year because I'm asking my wife to use my own discount code here on my own podcast to get me. Because, dude, Hello Tushy, they got the Tushy toilet brush. They got biodegradable coconut husk scrubbing pads, premium bamboo TP, bum towels, right? They got a traveler bidet, dude. That's what I'm asking for, bro. So when I'm on the road doing stand-up, when I'm in different cities, I got my travel bidet with me. I love it. It literally changed my life. And proof's in the pudding with over 100,000 5-star reviews. See why millions of real pooping humans already love Hello Tushy Bidet. Every Hello Tushy Bidet attachment comes with a 30-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. Hello Tushy Bidet's fresh stream of water cleans your bum 2 times better than wiping. Even if you use wet wipes, you're still smearing poop around and introducing nasty chemicals to your butt. Using a Hello Tushy Bidet also prevents poop particles from spreading to your hands and everything you touch. Ew! It attaches to your existing toilet, requires no electricity or additional plumbing, and cuts toilet paper use by 80%. A Hello Tushy Bidet pays for itself in under a year. Shop from your toilet this Brown Friday and save up to 30% on bidets and bundles. Visit hellotushy.com/dank. Use promo code DANK for 30% off your first order. That's hellotushy.com/dank for 30% off now through November 25th. All right. Back to our game. So this is pretty legit. I actually like this. You got 2 tribes going to war. You know, the Mayans were conquerors. They were in an empire. And maybe you got one of these smaller settlements on the outskirts of the empire or whatever, and they've got a dispute. Yeah, they pay taxes to the Mayans, right, back at their capital, Chichen Itza or whatever. And they go, you fucking come on our territory. We're going to fight. But then you have this beautiful thing where they go, you know what? It's that classic thing in like Troy, when Achilles is like, give us your best warrior and versus one best warrior. Or the movie The King does this too. Save all these men's lives. No need for needless bloodshed. Let us resolve this. It's our difference anyway, isn't it? And also they do that in Game of Thrones. It's a well-used trope at this point, I guess. But what's sick is this game could be used to diffuse such arguments, conflicts, without genuine warfare, to settle disputes through this battle on the court. Keep it on the court, man. That's what I love. Sportsmanship. And so it would include maybe some external mediation, but the rules would be applied. Maybe they'd say, hey, whoever wins gets this and this, or this and this. Maybe they have a goal differential or whatever it was. Even conflicts within the society as well. Maybe 2 wealthy dudes have some sort of something or dispute that needs to be settled. All I'm saying is they got this boundary maintenance or conflict resolution theory about this game, which I love. I love this theory. It's only theory, but I love it and I want to believe it. Okay? So it could be used to, save life, even though life at the end of the game was taken. Maybe by the loser. Sometimes, I guess, like we mentioned earlier, potentially by the winner. So the sacrifice was an association, has always been associated with this game, they think, because of the archaeological record, like I mentioned earlier, with the skulls and everything, most likely from players. Sometimes they would put them in the ball, they believed, even, as well as depictions in the stone walls of human sacrifice, rituals taking place on the panels of the ball courts, right? They've seen those at a location called El Chichen, even in Chichen Itza, All right. So captains were shown in this Mayan art. These captives were sacrificed after losing a rig. Oh no, this is a different story about a rigged ritual ballgame game. We're not going to get into that. But typically it was through decapitation. Slice the head. And then also these ball courts were we'll get into some symbolism here in a little bit, but about fertility and refertilization. The blood going there and then soaking into the ground of the ball court. And that's why they'd say there was multiple ball courts, because it was almost like a crop rotation. They would then grow crops in those ball courts using the blood and whatever guts and everything. Sorry for the grotesque descriptions there. That would then fertilize the land. So a severed head, could make an ear of corn. Who knows? Symbols that go along with this. Astronomy, right? The bouncing ball is thought to have represent the sun. The stone scoring rings are speculated to signify sunrise and sunsets or equinoxes. Sometimes their shadows will go through them. The ball courts will be situated in such a way, if there's an equinox or equinox, I don't know how to say that because I don't go to orgies. Only people who go to orgies actually know how to pronounce that word. And, shadows would be cast through them. Maybe you play a game and it's probably a great honor to play that game. Maybe the family's taken care of if there is a sacrifice. You have this cosmological duality. My Dank wife and I went on one of our first trips. We were in Tulum, and our tour guide, our docent, was talking about duality in Mesoamerican culture, and we were at Mayan ruins in Tulum. And we were smooching. We were horny. We were smooching. I do think that my Dank wife did have some fish that went sideways on her, so nothing was really ever going to go down. But we were just sharing a little smooch, The tour guide goes, no. You cannot disrespect this here, because it's the Mayan religion. He goes, it wasn't standing on a ball court, it was a temple. But he's like, this is something of duality. And he goes, women are darkness, men are light. And he goes, that may sound bad, but listen to my story and you will like it in the end, because, out of darkness comes new light. But he talks about this cosmological duality, and the game is seen as the struggle between day and night, male and female, and underworld, right? And the life of the world. And the courts were considered portals to the underworld, and they were built in key locations with central ceremonial precincts. Playing Pitz engaged one in the maintenance of cosmic order in the universe, and the ritual regeneration of life, both metaphorically and also religiously and quite physically, with the crops being planted and grown there. You have this twin myth that it sort of establishes the importance that this game's based on, maybe not believed by other cultures that played the game previously, but in the Mayan context, the underworld and the lords of the underworld became annoyed with the noise from the ball playing. And so the primary lords, I'll butcher their names, but it's like he comes up, one of the lords of the underworld, he sent an owl to lure these brothers who are playing the game, Pitz, down to the western edge of the underworld. And despite the dangers, one of these brothers just falls asleep. He's just like, dude, I don't know, dude. This is like a hellish landscape, but I'm tired, I'm gonna pass out. He falls asleep, and guess what? One of the lords of the underworld chops his head off and buries him in the ball court. And his freaking decapitated head hung in the fruit tree. Bears the fruits of the calabash gourds, in case you were wondering. And his head spits up these gourds, and it passes through the goddess, who conceives and bears the hero twins. So then you have these hero twins, okay? Eventually they find the ball game equipment in their father's house and start playing again to the annoyance of the lords of the... And so they summon these twins. Okay, they summon the twins now. This is generational, right? This is rebirth, regeneration. Okay? And they cruise down there, and one of them gets decapitated by bats. His brother uses like a squash as a substitute head for his real one. And the ball is played against that. This game is played against the twin brothers and these lords of the underworld. And eventually the twins go on to play the ball game, defeating them. And the twins are unsuccessful in reviving their father, so they leave him buried in the ball court. And so now human sacrifice in the ball game relates to this agricultural fertility and abundance. And they would even ritually flood the ball court, sometimes with blood, they would say. Sometimes they say with blood. Most often probably water. So, and that's why it's all surrounded by, stone walls and stuff. This is dating back to, even the Olmecs. And maybe even a homage to the rain gods. And so then, that after they flood that court, we wouldn't play on there. And maybe if it rains a lot, the court would get flooded, and that's to honor, and you capture that rainwater, use it to, maybe bring out to other crops where it's, drier around the region that need it. So anyways, fucking badass, dude. So that's just a little bit of the twin hero myth or legend, whatever you want to say. There is a distinction, but in any case, don't go out there next time you're in, Cancun or cruising around Guatemala, whatever, sipping on some delicious coffee that's grown there. You could stumble upon a ball court. You might not even know it, dude. And just make sure you don't start playing too loud and get summoned to the underworld, because you might lose your dome, dude. So that's why it's often decapitation, because of this hero twin story that I just told, the Mayan twin myth, as they call it. So pretty freaking badass, dude. It's not like, okay, it's not just bloodlust or, hey, we're just going to kill someone. This is part of their religion, and it's, built into their, I guess, the canon of their belief system. So pretty gnarly. Let's just say this, dude, we're playing for keeps. If you're playing Pitz, you're playing for keeps. And if you are playing, it might be, maybe that's where the phrase, oh man, how's it going? Oh, I'm just in the pits. Maybe that's what it came from. Maybe that's the origin, or the, what the hell do they call that when you study friggin' words, dude? Etymology, dude, of that friggin' phrase. So pretty badass, dude. Sick ass game, dude. Playing for keeps. So next time you play a game of pickup basketball and you got to guard a guy that's just a little bit too sweaty, remember, it could always be worse. Could have been 2,000 years ago in a town called Tikal, and you could have been losing your dome, whether you won or lost. But, we're judging that from our 21st century lens. Maybe you were trying to win and then get your head cut off because that's what you wanted, dude, because then you were going to go and be with your gods. So who are we to judge? Who am I to judge? All I know is, even in my prime, I probably wouldn't have been that great of a ball player. Actually, I was pretty good at volleyball, so maybe I would have been pretty legit at this game. In any case, let's freaking bone out of here. I do want to read one email, though, that this guy sent me, which was really nice. He says, John is a dank legend. He goes, it's the body of this is nice Rick. He said, hey dude, just saw your undie run video on Friday Beers. Stop being self-deprecating on the pod. You're in good shape and women like your body. Nice. Dude, thank you. I had to share that. I do enjoy self-deprecation. I don't know if all women enjoy my body. One does. My dank-ass wife. But John, let me see. John is a dank-ass legend. I don't know why hell I said Nick. I think maybe because I said the word nice. John, thank you, my dog. I appreciate you. That's the positivity I needed today. Other than that, freaking fired up. Leave a review. Questions, comments, suggestions, or just, general observations of my legit rig, good or bad. Maybe don't send them to me. If they're good, maybe send them to me. Other than that, freaking stay stoked. We'll catch you guys in the freaking next one, dude. Hell yeah. Aaron, we're in, we're out.